Has anybody ever bought a potted plant of any kind? We bought like 12 plants. They all came in these pots. Some of them even had fruit on them still. Like you go to a nursery, I've been to a blueberry nursery, and all these pots, like hundreds of pots, they all have fruit on these blueberry bushes. I'm like, yes, and like we're eating blueberries off of them. When I get them home, those blueberries die very quickly because at the nursery, they have their systems set up for these potted plants to have the nutrients and the water that they need. I don't have that system set up at my house because I don't have all these hoses and everything. And so my job is to either give it water, nutrients, but that's only going to allow the plant to grow so much because it's in this pot. The roots can't get down and grow because if the roots don't grow, the fruits don't grow. And so we have to get, my wife and I, we had to get those 12 plants in the ground as fast as possible. And so, okay, cool. I'm going to do a lot of digging. That sounds like fun with our great thick soil. And so I started, it's a Saturday, and I got out, me and my shovel, and I went and I dug a hole. It took over an hour, and it was hard. And I was exhausted after that hour. So that was me doing it myself, the DIY approach. And so I'm like, this needs to be faster. I don't want to spend all this time. It's going to take this much time to do this thing. But we need it to happen. Okay, so what's in between? I want to try a new power tool. So let's go to Tri-City Power, and I rented an auger. You guys have ever used or seen one of those big old drill? It's really hard, just going to say that. But I used it, and it took what took over an hour down to 20 minutes. And so I was able to do all those holes. I was still exhausted. We got it done in a day. But I also chose, rather than just sticking it out and spending all of this time, I paid a little bit of money to shrink that timeline. So I saved myself a little bit of time, a little bit of energy, and I spent a little bit of money. And so we have maybe the DIY approach and then the done with you approach. And so a little bit of time, a little bit of money. What would be, could anybody guess what's that last step, the like fully done for you? For this specific example, getting plants in the ground. I could just pay someone to plant them for me. But that's, again, like less time, but more money. And so you have this structure of, if I do it myself, it's going to take a lot of time, but it's going to cost a little bit of money. There's not really truth in that. And then there's the done with me. So maybe I have a coach, a consultant, somebody kind of showing me how to do it. I buy a power tool. Or I have someone do it all for me. And so my goal was to get these potted plants in the ground so that the roots could grow. And so I condensed that timeline a little bit. Could have paid someone else, done a little bit faster, had more energy. And so the thing about this money only, like not my time, but money only approach, that I do think there's a place and a time for someone to just come in and set up a system for me. I really do. And pay them, they're experts, they know what they're doing. The thing that I found, even when I work with myself or when I work with other teams that work with other people, is oftentimes someone will come in and they will set up their thing for your system in their way, but they won't teach you how to use it. Or maybe they sell you on this really cool result, but their result doesn't really fit inside of your system well. And so there's this friction, there's tension, there's this pain. And so this is where I sit. I sit in this middle spot where I help people learn how to ask the questions, learn how to even understand how do automations work? How does delegation work? How do I make templates and SOPs? How do I do all of that? So that we can become the people who know when and how to hire or when and how to do it ourselves. If the DIY approach is the right way, then you'll know that.